Hi everybody, my name is Wayne Garton. Here is my parents' Graveside memorial service. This was filmed on June 17th, 2017 in Humeston, Iowa, which is where one of our family farms are. And this was a sad moment for our family, but also one where we reflected and found good things. Okay, so here's the video. Thanks for watching, everybody.
He wins, right? Obviously he would win. There you go. The rest of us came later. But we want to thank, special thanks to Cousin Frank and Jim Janetz for being here with our family, as part of our family. And thank you, Wayne, for getting us started. What we're going to do is we're going to go sort of by oldest to youngest. A few of us are going to say something, not everybody will. We have a combination of things both for Mom and Dad. And yeah, if anyone feels like there's something they wanted to share but don't get the chance, we'll have a little time to do that at the end. So you go. You're first, right?
I'm first.
You're first.
Okay. So when Dad was in the Army, he wrote write letters back home to Grandma Watsaball. Sorry, I don't have to look.
Bertha?
It was Bertha Watsaball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bertha Watsaball. And she kept a war diary of everything, all these letters, and consolidated them all together. So this is a letter that he wrote in April of 1945, somewhere in Germany. He called her Mom. All the letters go, Dear Mom and Dear Son. Dear Mom, received your fine letter of the 10th of April a couple of days ago and a V-mail today at the 4th. That was the finest letter I've ever received. This is from somewhere in Germany. I'm okay and doing better all the time. I've seen northern France, a lot of western and southeastern Germany. It hasn't been bad as yet. See Europe on a half-track, that's my motto. Most every night we slept in a house, not much of this foxhole stuff. I guess this is a modern war. I'm not worried about the future. We had A rations today instead of those darn K rations out of boxes. Right now I'm just got off good old guard duty and I'm sitting here smoking an old gold and drinking cherry wine. Your boy has sampled about every liquor in Europe except vodka, and I'm looking forward to that. That's the only bad thing I've acquired in the ETO, European Theater of Operations. He always just wrote ETO. I thought I'd try to quit smoking, but this is where men learn to smoke. I've been in about every army on the Western Front, but I'm one of Patton's boys and I wear a necktie. We can do many things when I get back. I'm your boy and always will be, I guess. Travel, find saddle horses, steady, and just puttering around. Don't worry when at times I don't write because I don't get letters out regular. I'm feeling good and I'm surprisingly heavy too. In spite of those rations, I get part of the time. I still read my agricultural book faithfully, and I just about got that book memorized. So he had a book on farming with him the whole time he was in the Army. He was like, he read it and still studying it. Chow interrupted me. We had chicken, beans, and chocolate pudding. The orchards are all in bloom, and it has been raining most of the day. The lilacs are in bloom, and the tulips too. Germany is beautiful. Must close now. May God bless you and keep you. Your son, Kiefer. And in some of the other letters, I found this picture last night in a box in his desk, but it was a picture of a horse. Dinah was the horse, and they sent the picture of a horse, and that's what he had hanging up in his tent, was a picture of one of the horses back at the farm. But I found that picture last night. Anyway, thank you.
I'm next. Is it weird that I want to sit down? Okay, so this one has an interactive part at the end. I thought my mom would appreciate that. So everyone needs to try to think of some quirky thing that Dad liked and did for anywhere from like 1 day to 6 months. So everybody needs to try to think of something, okay? Just how he got really into kicks of things. So for Dad, and if I can't do this, I'm gonna hand it to husband. So we weren't ready for you to go, and you've taken care of us for so many years. And we each have our dad stories, and each of us can speak to the care you've shown us in our lifetimes. But above all, you've given all of us a sense that we'll always be okay, and that we have all been able to move through life knowing that we'll be fine. So this is a random memory, but I want to share that my mom and dad always took us to the airport like hours early, and then they would stay there and like drink coffee until they saw the plane go off. And then if you were getting picked up, it was the same thing. They would get there early. And it wasn't until I was way into college or even an adult when I figured out that like a lot of people's parents didn't like do every single step like that. And a few times, I remember when I was living in Louisiana, of course this was before 9/11, but if people needed a ride, I would like be at the gate waiting to pick them up, and they would get off and they'd be like, what the hell are you doing here? Like my parents don't even pick me up at the gate or whatever. And I just think it's like sort of that like care expectation that mom and dad always had. I wanted to talk a little bit now about, as a working parent with two young boys, I also think I more appreciate, because dad didn't, it always sort of seemed like mom was running things, and she really was, but there was a lot that dad was doing too. And particularly for us, and when I think about the extracurriculars and like how much it takes for me to get my kids to like an organized sport or whatever, and if I put into that context the fact that dad did everything he did for the scouts, for Ray and Phil, and for Wayne and me for 4-H, that was really more Wayne than me. I literally wrote for Wayne and sort of me. Because he wanted it. We literally ran a sheep business at a huge loss every year at the county home just so that we could be agricultural children or whatever that meant. So he wanted us to have childhood experiences rooted in agriculture and helped us be 4-Hers and raise sheep. And when I think about raising sheep and being in 4-H and the scouting work that he did, it puts my level of parental involvement into perspective. So all this from the dad that you didn't always think was that kind of a dad, because he was. I also don't, it's hard to explain, but I don't really need to explain it to people here because you all know him, but he was just like really deeply loyal, very unwavering values. He spent his money in a way that reflected his values, just everything about his life. He also honored his own mother and father the way he lived, and he talked to me a lot about his mom, Madge, and apparently she was very tiny and went by Midge, but other than that, he always said that she was a lot like me. And it makes me happy to know that, and he always kind of made me feel like knowing me and watching me grow up and then watching me become a mother to 2 boys, just like she was a way for him to get to know her, something that he didn't really get to do. So anyway, all of this was layered on top of some of very important life qualities. He had a good sense of humor, a deep love of family, and this one's sort of hard to capture, but he was always trying to learn something new, like more than most people we know. There were just a lot of things that Dad loved, and his constant quest to learn new things meant richer lives for all of us. So this is the interactive part, and I have a list. Can anyone think of some of the things that Dad loved like his whole life? And I'm starting with the St. Louis Cardinals, so I get that one. What are the things Dad loved his whole life?
His horse Shorty.
You're supposed to remember birds.
Birds.
His horse Shorty.
Horses.
Tree recognition.
Tree recognition. He had a guidebook
Fly
for
fishing.
many things. Fly fishing, boating, all those things.
The good old Mississippi River.
Yep. The Mississippi River. Leela. I put her last. Yep. Mom. I always joked he would have 3 wives by the time he was done, but we all knew that wasn't going to happen. The second one was going to be a good gardener, and the third one was going to be rich. Yeah. I had a couple more, not many though. I put camping. People sort of said that. Camping and travel. War documentaries. I feel like he was obsessed with learning about war and history on TV. I also just put reading and watching the news. I feel like he always did that. I also put Jim and Sue. He loved them.
He always spent a lot of time every morning reading the newspaper,
Yep.
like 2 or 3 hours every morning.
Really everything.
Yeah.
I remember when I visited with my not yet father-in-law, and my father-in-law sat there reading everything he could get his hands on, and my father was reading everything that was on the table, and my dad said, like, we're just alike. It was very cute. I remember that. I also just put, like, Dad was one of those people who, like, everybody liked him, but he wasn't that close with tons of people, if that makes sense. Like, he wasn't people's best friend, except for Jim. So
I think you should put down the marker reports too, because I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
you
you're
stay
right.
on top of the
I just didn't care or understand them, so I didn't take it
ag
seriously.
reports daily forever.
The
3 o'clock and 4
The-
o'clock public broadcast.
The Friday night TV, all the like public television on Friday night shows, those were an obsession for years. They would make Wayne and I mad because we couldn't watch what we wanted to watch because we'd have to watch whatever those shows were, like farmers, whatever. And then I also put, like, in his love of learning, that also meant along the way there were a lot of things, those we just listed a bunch of things he was into his whole life, but there were also a lot of things that he was listening to for a kick, like some stretch, like weeks or months. I don't know if any of you remember his cross-country skiing phase. He was really into that for a while. Muzzle loading rifles and making his own bullets. Remember, he used to make his own bullets. What else? Can anyone else think of any kicks that was on?
Fly fishing? Fly fishing?
Fly fishing we put in the forever list, I thought.
Snowshoes. Those were actually snowshoe poles he had.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
And he had cross-country skis, I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said
but he
that.
had
He did
snowshoe
that.
poles.
What else was he?
Learning Spanish.
Oh, I forgot about Spanish.
Yeah.
Did you all know that Dad was at Kirkwood Community College taking Spanish classes? He was visiting Ray in El Paso at the time, trying to learn. Am I right? I feel
Yeah.
like that was when you were there, and he thought it was rude that there was so many people in the world spoke Spanish and that he did not. I put old cars. He just talked about them a lot, but a lot of the cars he talked about weren't old when he had them. They were just old when he talked about them. Wayne said one that I only kind of remember, but that was that he went on a kick where he would only wear sandals. I don't remember that. Is that true?
yeah.
His
And
long
Western
hair.
shirt.
Oh yeah, he did have long
Oh, the
hair.
man bun.
Man bun.
Oh my God, that's awful. I have blocked that one out. Long hair. I'm writing
Mary,
it
don't
down.
forget Western shirts that snap, no buttons.
Oh yeah, snap shirts.
Yes.
We spent a lot of like vacations and different periods of life like on some sort of quest for something, like the right butter dish, the right like Dixie cup for his like water dispenser, the right like Kim showed up with it eventually, I remember.